It's late, you've just moved in. The house is old, but it's quiet, until you hear something beneath the hum of the heater. A whisper, a voice, your name. You check the vents, empty. You call a tech, they go missing. And one night, the vent opens from the inside. This isn't about ghosts, this isn't about echoes. It's about what lives inside the walls, waiting to pull you in. This is the story of voices in the vents, and once you listen, they never stop talking. In the winter of 2019, Bryce McConnell, a 31-year-old freelance web developer, bought a foreclosure property in Roscoe, New York, a remote hamlet known for its fly fishing and thick, silent winters. The house sat on the edge of a frozen lake. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, built in 1968, original oil furnace and a massive steel duct system winding through walls, ceilings, and under the floorboards. Bryce wanted peace. His last apartment in Brooklyn had been noisy, cramped, and expensive. This house was quiet, too quiet, except for the vents. At first, he thought the rattling was due to air pressure. Old houses, old systems, but then came the words. It started as a fluke, an odd whisper behind the hallway vent. "He's in here." Bryce stood frozen. The sound came from the floor vent near the stairs. He turned off the heat. The whisper stopped. He convinced himself it was wind, a trick of airflow. But 2 nights later, same time, 3:14 a.m., he heard it again, this time from a different vent. "He doesn't see." Same voice. Calm, precise, female. The vents weren't just making noise. They were communicating. Bryce knocked on one just to see if it would echo. It didn't, but something knocked back. Bryce hired an HVAC technician named Jeremy Faulkner, a 42-year-old with 2 decades of experience. Jeremy brought gear, fiber optic scopes, thermal sensors, air quality monitors. He inspected the crawl spaces, snaked cameras through the ducts, and climbed into the attic. After 3 hours, Jeremy texted Bryce from the crawl space. "Something's off. This system's bigger than it should be." Then nothing. Bryce waited another hour before going to check. Jeremy was gone. His van still parked outside. His phone still on the kitchen counter. Only thing missing was him. Bryce searched the house top to bottom. Only trace left behind, Jeremy's tool belt sitting neatly in front of the basement vent. The next night, the vent whispered again. "He's here now." Bryce installed motion cameras in every room. He set them to record from midnight to 4 a.m. On the 3rd night, the bedroom cam caught something. At 3:14 a.m., the vent above his bed turned from the inside, as if unscrewed. A long arm reached out. Thin, elongated, joints in the wrong places. The hand hovered above his bed, then slowly retreated. When Bryce watched the footage, he realized something worse. He never woke up. The thing had been inches from him, and he'd slept through it. He rewound the video again. At the very end, just before the hand vanished, something whispered directly into the camera mic. "He's ready." Bryce called the police. They searched the house, found no signs of forced entry. They dismissed the video as altered, told him to get some rest. But Bryce couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he felt the vents breathing. Not blowing air, breathing. He fled the house 3 days later. Months passed. The home went up for sale again. Buyers came and went. One family moved in briefly in 2020. They left after 2 weeks. The last thing the mother posted on Facebook. "We heard voices in the vents. My daughter whispered back." That night, the vent in her room disappeared. Reddit exploded with theories. Ghosts? Too coordinated. Animals? Too articulate. Some claimed the vents themselves were a living system, built by someone long ago to channel energy, heat, and attention. The most compelling theory? A non-human intelligence nested inside the ducts. Not demonic, not ghostly. Something older, hungrier, spatially flexible. They whisper because it draws you closer. The more you listen, the more space they take. And when they finally know your name, that's when they open the main line. And once you're in, you don't come back out. If this story made you want to seal your vents with duct tape, like this video before 3:14 a.m. comment, what would you do if your air vent whispered your name? Subscribe to Unholy Reels, where the horror doesn't knock, it slides in through the walls.